All right, there it is. All right, we are live. Well, week 7, Lions fans 24-6 loss in Dallas. You need to start this time, son. What was your thoughts on the game before we break down each side of
Ugh,
the ball?
man. So, man, the first thing I got to say is I really don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with this team at this point. So basically, the defense, they were locking up the whole game. Basically,
Hmm.
they looked really good. Um, and then the offense, I don't understand what's going on with Jared Goff and these people. Like basically, they drive down the field and
Hmm.
Jamal Williams. I'm sorry about that. I'm still thinking about this game. It's hard to
Hmm.
get my thoughts together.
Yeah,
So when they get down the field, Jamal Williams, they drive down the field. They have a long drive. I think it was 10-6 still, wasn't it?
it was 10-6. It sure was. Yes.
And he gets a fumble on the goal line, and the commentators are going to talk about it's his first fumble in like what 600 carries or something.
Yeah, it
So
was something
basically,
crazy. Yes.
basically, I have to say that just puts the whole Lion season together right there. I don't know what to say. It seems like every time this team gets something together, they just find a way to shoot themselves in the foot. When Jared Goff threw that pick, not only was that underthrown, but honestly, they could have reviewed it, but of course, nothing happened. I don't know why. The refs were supposed to review it. I don't know why they didn't review it.
Right.
It's
Right.
just things like that. So I don't know. And then it's 24-6. I think the score is a lot worse than the game was, but I mean, I can't even get mad at the defense where they're holding off. Basically, when they're holding off the team, and the offense isn't doing anything for you. It's just not making any sense.
I I have to fully agree with that. It's very frustrating, not knowing just not knowing what's going on there. Okay, let me start with some pros. In my opinion, watching this game from beginning to end, I would have to say that this is the one of the first games this season in 5 losses that we can't blame Dan Campbell. That we can't say his coaching decisions can be questioned. And I'm saying that because I thought that he called a great game. He didn't take any gambles. He punted when he should have punted. He used John Fox, who, by the way, just got a new contract. John Fox looked the part. He gave the Lions good field possession, and the defense was a positive. I mean, man, the defense played their guts out. I mean, I heard one of the commentators say that the Dallas Cowboys right now have the number 1 ranked offense in the NFL, and in the first half, the Lions had them at 10 points, and pretty much for most of the third quarter held them. The defense held. They got proper pressure on the quarterback. That our Achilles heel, which is a running quarterback, was not an issue this time. The running quarterback was held in check. Well, the running quarterback being Dak Prescott. I thought the defense played good. The offense actually looked like they were doing pretty good at first, but then I think what really did them in was the fumble at the goal line. They marched down the field. Brock Wright, I mean, he's a half a yard away from a touchdown. The Lions could take the lead, but that's okay. They're gonna get 4 downs to score, right? And
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, I don't know how he fumbled. I'm not saying it's easy to be a running back, but you have to know that when you're that close to the goal line, that the other teams are going to be going for the strips. And that's exactly what happened. He gets in. He's now Tony Romo was saying that the Lions should have challenged, and if they would have, at least they would have saw that the ball should have been on like the half-yard line. Okay, maybe that makes a difference, but that still has nothing to do with the fumble. And as you and I were texting as that happened, you said, I bet you they're gonna score down. The momentum changed. Dallas
Yeah.
marched down the field, 98 yards, and they score. Okay, it's 13-6, not too bad. Then Jared Goff throws another bad interception. Now that which leads me to the cons. Jared Goff, he was playing okay, but I mean he turned the ball over 4 times, 2 strip fumbles and 2 interceptions, and they weren't good interceptions. Really, that second one he threw across the middle where the guy got hurt,
It's
and
forced.
it was what was it, 3rd and 12?
Yeah, it was
It was good
forced.
possession. I counted in my head to 5 seconds, so it's not like he was rushed. He had good time and he just threw a bad pass. So I guess let's start with the defense first. Give me your takes on the defensive line. What did you see, good or bad on the defensive line?
Oh, I thought the defensive line looked pretty good. I finally started noticing the rookie Pascal. I thought Hutch did look pretty good, but I noticed he kind of does the same moves. So I mean, we got to see if he can still be consistent. Like on the 2 sacks that he got, he kind of like bull rushes and then he does like a spin move. So I thought the defense looked, especially the D line, I think they looked pretty good for the most part. It's getting pretty clear that Jeff Okudah is that guy.
Yes.
His name was just getting called constantly, whether it was on tackles or whatever. I don't even know how many targets he allowed on CD Lamb. Like I didn't really see any like big throws like that. So
yeah, to be honest, he was over Gallup a lot of the times, and they said Gallup had like 0 targets.
Yeah.
And maybe that was Aaron Glenn's plan. Maybe Aaron Glenn's plan was let's pretty much, we're not gonna tire Okudah out by putting him against their number 1. Let's put him against their number 2, and let's switch up between a couple of guys on the number 1. Either way it goes, Aaron Glenn did his thing. I'm sorry, I want to get off track. What about the linebackers? Anzalone, Malcolm Rodriguez. What did you think about them, the linebackers?
Yeah, they're pretty terrible. I mean, like we always say, I mean, you can see it right here. They're a liability in pass coverage. Like it's actually terrible, and I don't think it's just like he was. I don't know. He wasn't holding. I don't know if it was Schultz that he was holding at the end of the game. I didn't think it was too bad, but I mean, pretty much he's a liability. It doesn't even matter. They can't cover. I mean, you can just see the difference with the linebackers. I mean, when Micah Parson, when he recognized that it was a screenplay, when the second he realized that the Lions were running a screen, you can notice the speed of how fast he went from Jared Goff to the running back. Until the Lions get somebody like that, I don't think their defense will be good. Because the middle of the field, you notice there's always a soft spot in the middle of the field where the linebackers are supposed to be.
I agree. I have to agree with you. As far as the run, Anzalone was kind of was flying around, but man, it's a hole in the middle of that defense. And the Lions, they have to get a guy that can really command that middle of the field, and a guy who can cover tight ends and running backs. I think that is a big hole that we have, because to be honest, as much as we love Malcolm Rodriguez, the truth is that Malcolm Malcolm is also a liability in the run game. I'm sorry, not in the run game, in the pass game. Right. Just to keep it honest with you, he's a liability. He is good getting on his assignments. He covers pretty well, but he can't cover, if that makes sense what I'm saying. Like, he's there on his assignment, but he doesn't cover well. What about the secondary? Let's go with the corner. I know you kind of touched on the Okudah already, but what about the secondary, the corners and the safeties? What did you see good and or bad?
So wait, is Mike Hughes hurt, or was he out there?
You know what? I don't really remember seeing Mike Hughes.
Locking up, because I didn't even notice him. But yeah, so Deshaun Elliott, Okudah, and I thought Oriore was back, so he looked good too.
He did.
I didn't know exactly what's going on with. You said he was the undrafted rookie, I think.
AJ Parker.
I understand he's on CD Lamb. So I mean, I thought he looked decent too. I mean, I thought he had good coverage for the most part.
He looked okay. And one of our favorite guys, Jerry Jacobs, was in the game, but unfortunately he got a pass interference in the end zone, which is what led to the touchdown that put them up 13-6.
Yeah, I would say Kirby Joseph is coming along too. He had a big hit, and he should have had a pick.
You know what? Kirby Joseph actually is coming along, and I think that's a pleasant surprise, because guys who know the draft way better than I do, they were saying that they thought that Kirby Joseph was just an okay player, that they thought that the Lions may could have gotten a better player, because they thought that even at Illinois he was just okay, but he is kind of coming along. Now I will say this positive about the defense. I did like how hard they was hitting, and the commentators made a note of that by saying that Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn said that this last week of practice, that they made it known that they want these guys hitting hard and trying to strip the ball. And you could tell there was a difference. What about special teams?
Special teams was decent. I mean, kickoff wasn't bad, but I was very nervous with Kavontae Turpin, because I know he's a dangerous kick returner. I almost expected him to break one free. But kick returns is all right. I have to give him a D, just because the punt coverage was shaky, especially on that 60-yard return he had.
Okay. I'm gonna give Jack Fox. I think he did well. I thought he did a good job with field possession, and Bagley, the kicker. I guess I got to give him something
Oh
because
yeah,
he did go 2 for 2, better than the kicker we had in the Minnesota game and the guy we had in the whoever we had in the Patriots game 2 weeks ago. The Lions, you know what, son? The Lions, while we're talking about the things they need, like how they need a good middle linebacker, the Lions need a solid kicker. And look at that right there. Who was that number
yeah.
31? Dropped the
Joseph.
interception.
It was Joseph.
That was Joseph. Yeah, got it. That's one of the plays you. Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was saying.
yeah. No, yep. That wasn't a turning point, if you will, but that would have definitely gave the Lions some momentum right there. Okay, now let's get to the offense last. 6 points. Let's start with the offensive line. Let's start with the guys in the front. What did we think of the offensive line, particularly trying to handle Micah Parsons? What did you see?
I mean, honestly, I thought they did the best they could. So I didn't hear his name too much, but I mean, he's a superstar. So I mean, you just got to do the best you can to contain somebody like that. I think they was trying to. I don't think they had him one-on-one too much. I think that center, Evan Brown, I think his name is, he was kind of struggling with him. But I thought the offensive line did pretty good, though.
Yeah, Parsons. This is what I think about Micah Parsons. What I saw in this game, I think I told you this last week, son. This dude is the modern day Lawrence Taylor. I mean, he gets in the backfield almost with ease. And what I noticed is that while he wasn't a sack factor, he did get that strip sack at the end of the game. He got a strip sack on Jared Goff, and not to mention, he was giving Taylor Decker problems. Now, Penei Sewell seemed like he was handling him on his end, but when they put him over, when he switched over to the right side and was going at Taylor Decker, it seemed like he got in the backfield every play. It seemed like he was right up on Jared Goff. He didn't sack him, but he would at least get a hit on him or make his presence known. That's what I thought. But other than that, I thought the old line looked pretty good. Jonah Jackson looked good. It's good to see him back out there pulling, getting down the field, and getting blocks down the field. What about the receivers?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on that. So people were mad with the Lions that we took, Jameson Williams. Well, some people were saying it was controversial we took Jameson Williams with that pick.
Right.
But I think it's becoming pretty clear that we need him. I mean, if you really look at this team, they don't really have that much depth at the receiver. None of these receivers are number one receivers, and that's what I feel like even with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't even think he's a number one receiver. Like the commentators were saying, the Lions need somebody who can create separation and who's extremely explosive. And that's Jameson Williams, the guy who's on the bench. All these other receivers like Josh Reynolds and I don't even know who the other receiver who was out there because Cephas was hurt, right?
Cephas hurt. Khalif Raymond was out there. And really, and then I guess sometimes you saw Ted Kennedy out there, but mainly it was Khalif Raymond and it was Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, and then obviously there's Hawkinson, but yeah, I think the Lions, they really do need a number one receiver. I think it was clear today because I mean, I feel like they couldn't really move the ball that much. It was really just kind of like dinking dunks. So
true. And you know what, son? Good point. Now the fact that the Lions moved up 20 spots to take Jameson Williams is starting to make a lot of sense. And let's keep it real. As much as we love Amon-Ra St. Brown, all of us Lions fans, right? As much as we love him, as good as he is as a possession receiver, and that's basically what he is a possession receiver.
Yeah, he's real quick.
Right. The truth is that he's not fast. He doesn't have that type of separation that the Lions need. They need a true number one receiver. To be honest, no, he's not going to be Calvin Johnson. He's not going to be, let's say, even Herman Moore from back in the early 90s. But Jameson Williams will give the Lions something that they haven't had, and that is a deep threat. And that's what Jameson Williams is going to provide. That's what they need. Now, Khalif Raymond is a deep threat, but Khalif Raymond is not a deep threat along the lines of how Jameson Williams is going to be, especially when he comes back from this injury. Now, I don't know why they keep saying he's coming along, but have you heard anything about Jameson Williams going to play this season, or is he probably not going to play until 2023?
So I haven't heard anything since like a few weeks ago since about him practicing with the bye. I mean, with the Lions, with them losing this much, like we talked about, I don't even know if it's worth playing him. I mean,
Right.
it's like unless he's, like unless he's 100%, 110% healthy.
Right.
It's like, man. So I don't know. I
Right.
haven't heard anything about his injury in a minute though. I would say I don't even know if he's practicing with pads and stuff yet.
Right. Right. All right. I only thing I've heard is he's doing like light workouts, and they're saying that he's catching on very well. Um, so we touched the receivers, touched tight end. Hawk, looked okay. I mean, he looked good. I thought. Let's talk about an issue that I thought the Lions had today, which was at running back. What about the running backs? Justin Jackson, Josh Reynolds. I'm sorry, not Josh Reynolds. Craig Reynolds, and uh, Jamal Williams. What do you have for them pros and cons?
Well, I honestly thought the running back stepped up for the most part today, except for that fumble. I thought the running backs looked pretty good, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that, that we're missing Swift. Like when the running backs make cuts, you see holes where Swift would probably get like 40, 50 yards out of that. But
yes.
like these running backs, they just don't have that
explosiveness
factor about
Yeah. I'm with you. All right. These running backs they just don't have that. They just don't have that explosiveness. That Swift has that he brings. I agree. I thought the running backs were just okay. I thought that Reynolds was getting stuffed in the backfield quite a bit. I thought the same thing about Jackson, especially when that other rookie, wasn't named Armstrong, just basically treated him like a child, just slammed him down. I mean, Dallas did a good job of basically filling the gaps and giving the running backs nowhere to run but outside. But I totally agree with you. I do think that Swift is the difference. I think that Swift is explosive, and I hope that he's coming back soon because the Lions need that explosiveness. Now, maybe if he didn't play today, then it tells me that he's not even 80%. Because 80% of him probably would have. Now, I'm not saying it would have been the total factor, but it may have been the factor. And there's Micah Parsons right there running Jared Goff down. So, okay, so now that brings us to Jared Goff. What do you think? What do you think about his performance overall?
I don't know. I thought he kind of he almost looked like Jared Goff from last year, a little bit. I mean, it's just the thing about Jared Goff is I know he can make throws 20 yards in, but when it comes to those deep shots, I mean, because to be honest, on that pick, I thought there was some separation. I think he was trying to throw it to Josh Reynolds. I thought he had him, but he makes me so nervous when he makes those throws. I almost don't even expect him to like complete those balls. Like I'm like, there's no way that's complete. Like I almost think that he's throwing it away when he tries to make those big plays. So,
oh man, 100%. I'm the same way. I mean, there was some. I forget who the receiver was on that deep ball down the left side of the field. Was it? I don't know if it was Khalid. No, it was Josh Reynolds. That's who it was. Yes, you're right. He just does not have. I mean, he should have had some more air under that ball. That ball should have been 3 to 5 yards in front of Reynolds. He threw the ball behind him.
Yeah, because I mean, Diggs was not by him. I mean, I thought there was like a yard of space, or even half a yard.
Yep. Did I lose you?
Oh no, I'm still there. I heard quietness for a second.
Okay, no, I thought I lost you for a second. I have to agree with you. He's good from 20 yards on in, but if you need somebody to throw you 30, 32 yards down, anytime he has to go that far, I always get nervous. He reminds me of Peyton Manning after the back surgery. When Peyton Manning lost all of his zip on the balls after the back surgery. That's what he reminded me of. Remember, we talked about how Peyton Manning was throwing ducks. Well, that was after he had back surgery. It took some of the zip off his ball. Jared Goff has been healthy his whole career. So I'm totally not understanding why he can't get the ball down the field. And the thing is this, I understand fumbles are fumbles, but he threw that interception. Then he threw another interception, which will probably be coming up soon, down the field to Jordan. And I thought that he had decent protection. I'm sorry, side note, that hurts us right there too. All those penalties. Yeah. See that play right there? Jared Goff rolls to the left. He finds Hockenson for a first down, which would have kept the momentum. Holding on, I think it was it Evan? Well, they're probably about to say it right now. Was it Evan Brown on this play? It was either him or Nelson, one of the two. whoever it was, Evan Brown. There you go.
It was when Michael Parsons bull rushed him.
Holding. Yep, right there. Just look at him, just stood him right up. A man that he outweighs by like 60 pounds probably. Just stood him up. And that right there hurt, because that took the momentum. Now, I think this might be the play that the Lions converted on 3rd and like 13, or 3rd and 14. Was this the play after the holding? Because I know there was a play that Jared Goff did get the ball down the field and got the first down. Oh, well, we won't see it see it there, where he did get the ball down the field on the 3rd down. It may have been that one. While I'm talking, I didn't think we was gonna make it to the end of the highlights. Let's get to
NFL.
There it is. I thought you and I would be done with these talking about these boys by the end. Well, sorry about the ads, everybody. Nothing I can do to get past that. But I think that might have been the 3rd down that they did convert, so they kind of picked the momentum back up. Oh, well, I don't know. I guess we're not going to see that. So anyway, Jared Goff, and then he had the 2 fumbles, both strip fumbles. Like all quarterbacks have said in the past, you have to have that eternal clock going off in your head to know when the pass rush is coming. And those 2 fumbles, those 2 fumbles hurt, and the 2 interceptions, in my opinion, were not good interceptions. And there's like I was saying earlier, there's Jonah Jackson getting down the field, providing some blocking. So now let's put this game in the books. Now, to be honest, the score ended up being 24-6. I thought that it was a garbage touchdown in the end. That was just Dallas basically putting the icing on the cake. But I think that the game was closer than that. I really don't even want to blame the defense and say, oh, man, they gave up 24 points. Listen, this is what I believe in. Good teams are going to score when it's something in goal. And all three times that the Cowboys scored a touchdown, it was 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, something like that. Good teams with a decent offensive line, with good running backs, they're going to score on those plays, and that's what Dallas did. So, now at 1-5, I think I'm gonna be honest, son. I think the Lions are I think they're out of it.
Yeah.
If they could have won today, 2-4 looks a lot better than 1-5. But 1-5, I think that they're out of it.
And it's really, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know what they can do to get better, because it's really a team thing. What I just don't understand about the Lions is when these games are close like this, when good teams are in close games, someone has to eventually step up. It's like you can't do things like this. You can't fumble at the goal line. Like, the game was over here, and then the Cowboys took advantage and they go down the field and they score. It's like, you guys got to do something here. It's like, and that's why I don't think they'll ever be good. Like, this is what's separating them from being like a playoff caliber team. Like, the Cowboys just showed they're a playoff caliber team. They're in a dogfight with the Lions, and then they finally took advantage. Right. It's like, bro.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They took advantage. Cowboys smell blood in the water right now. From you know what I'm saying, from that fumble on, and they went down the field and they scored, and that pretty much kind of put the game out of reach when it became 17-6. I mean, especially with the way the Lions offense is playing. So that's what I'm thinking. They're now 1-5. They have 11 games to go, and basically to get to the my prediction at the beginning of the season was 6 to 9 wins. I'm still going to hold on to that, but I'm not going to hold on to the 8 or 9 wins. I'm going to say 6 or 7 wins. So in order for them to get 6 or 7 wins, that's 5 or 6 wins, meaning they have to go, 11 games are left. They have to go 5-6 or 6-5 the rest of the season to get 6 or 7 wins. And the thing is that they have a tough schedule. Remember what I said last week when you and I did the bye week show? Is that I heard a guy say that the Lions went from the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL to having the 2nd hardest schedule after the bye week, because everybody that they have left other than Carolina is good.
Yeah.
The Giants are looking good. The Jets are looking good. The Jaguars are looking good. The Vikings are looking good. Honestly, other than the Bears, that's 2 wins, and the Panthers, that's a win. That gives them 4 wins. And you know what? I don't know, man. The way they looking, man, they probably gonna split with the Bears.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, what team? I mean, if they would have won today, I was gonna ask, like, what team do they want to play like? But I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna give the coaching staff credit. We all have been critical of Dan Campbell, and we definitely was critical of Aaron Glenn after that defensive performance against the Patriots. But truth be told, I thought the coaches did they thing today. This came down on the players, holding, fumbles, interceptions. This was on the players. This game was more on the players, is
Yeah,
what
I
I think.
agree.
Well,
Jamal Williams was.
let's talk about next week. Home against the Dolphins. Okay, let's just put it this way. What do the Lions need to do to win that game? Let's go by what happened today. What do they need to do next week?
And play exactly how you did this week and just score some more points. I mean, and I guarantee they do this. I'm telling you, the Lions will probably play a great defense next week. I mean, the offense just needs to wake back up.
Right.
I don't know. I just think that if they can contain Tyreek, or all they have to do is contain Tyreek or Jalen Waddle, I think they'll be all right. I don't know how good the Dolphins defense is, to be honest.
Yeah, their defense is just average, to be honest. And what they need to do is, if Tua is playing, they need to get to him early and rattle him. Because I honestly think that the Miami Dolphins are making a mistake bringing that kid back this early. I would have set him into November. I'm telling you, I'd have set him into November.
Yeah, I agree.
I think even today I'm kind of nervous for that kid. That he could possibly get hurt. So I don't know. I think that they're making a mistake bringing him back so soon. But that's just my thoughts on it. So I agree with you. They need to play really the same way they played today. They just need to play mistake free, meaning no interceptions, no fumbles. Watch the holding. Yeah. Oh, and watch the pass interference too, because that hurt the Lions too. But I don't know. I don't even have what my prediction is. My prediction is it's probably going to be another close game, because I still think that this was a close game, even though it ended up being 24-6. Because really, I mean, they scored all of their points. I mean, I'm looking at the highlights now. It's 3:30 left in the fourth, and they just scored their first touchdown.
Yeah, that's the
Cowboys.
Craziness about the Lions. They scored 14 in 2 minutes.
They did 14 in 2 minutes. So I shouldn't say they first touch. I shouldn't say their first touchdown, but I'm saying this is where they pulled away. The game was close up until this point. So anyway, that's all I have for this game. Hard, frustrating loss. But do you have any final thoughts on this game against the Cowboys?
No, I feel like I got all my frustrations out.
I know it was very frustrating. I would have to say it was very frustrating, at least watching this game. But I guess we'll see what happens next week. So as you know, son, I'm going to be at the game next week. So I don't know if I can try to record us on my way home from the game. So it may be a later in the evening, like a 6:30, 7:30 time for us to record next week.
Yeah.
So, but we'll figure that out. But if you don't have anything else, that's all I have. I just want to say thank you for joining the Lions Den, where we talk everything Detroit Lions, the Father and Son podcast. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, Lions fans, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. You have anything else?
No, I don't got nothing else. Hopefully you can bring in some luck next week.
Yeah, I hope so. When you and I went to that Cardinals game last year, we brought some luck to them. They won that game.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll happen next week. Other than that, Lions fans, that's all we got. Peace.